Don't rush to cut off your orchid branches after they've bloomed. In today's video, I'll share a new, simple, yet very interesting way to propagate orchids using only bloomed branches. This will help you create new orchid plants right at home easily and effortlessly. With orchids that have bloomed beautifully, I always remind people, don't throw them away. Good orchid varieties are something you must keep. When the flowers have faded, the buds begin to show, and that's the golden time to cut and propagate new plants from the buds. I will cut the stem at the bud location to maximize the sprouting potential. This bud is where new, healthy plantlets will grow, preserving the valuable characteristics of the mother plant. At this location, the bud is intact, alive, and will certainly sprout for us in the future if done correctly. After handling the flower, we'll move the plant to a nursery area, a cool, clean place with controlled humidity, to prepare for recovery and new shoot growth. Next, I'll use pure cinnamon powder, a very familiar but extremely effective ingredient in orchid care. Immediately after cutting the flower stalk, I apply the cinnamon powder directly to the cut. The purpose is to quickly disinfect, prevent mold and insects from entering, and help the cut dry and heal quickly. I then check the roots. Any damaged, soft, rotten or irrecoverable roots were decisively cut off without hesitation. Proper cutting ensures the plant's health. Keeping damaged roots only weakens the orchid further. After removing all the damaged roots, the orchid is now much lighter, cleaner, and more airy. Next, I'll use a very sharp razor blade. For these cuts, I make a very decisive cut, just one clean stroke to completely remove the damaged part. When you cut cleanly and smoothly, the wound will dry quickly, won't be crushed, and the orchid will recover much better. More importantly, the remaining dormant buds at the bottom or top will have the opportunity to grow strong, produce new shoots, flowers, or keep. After cutting, I set the plant aside to let the cut dry. Next, I will prepare a fresh ginger root. Ginger is a natural ingredient I highly trust because it has strong antibacterial and antifungal properties, and it also safely stimulates root and shoot growth in orchids. Then, I take a moderately sized piece of ginger. Next, I will slice the ginger into thin pieces. Doing so allows the ginger sap and other active ingredients to be more easily released and dissolve better during soaking, thereby maximizing its antibacterial, antifungal, and root sprout stimulating effects on the orchid. Next, I'll take an aloe vera leaf. Aloe vera contains many natural nutrients, especially vitamin C and vitamin E, which stimulate orchid growth, promote faster recovery, and strengthen roots. Then, I'll slice the aloe vera into pieces to allow the nutrients inside to be easily released. Next, I'll take the cutting and insert the stem directly into the aloe vera leaf, burying it completely so the cutting can naturally absorb the nutrients. Doing this allows the plant to absorb the nutrients gradually, without shock, and is very safe. In the next step, I'll chop it into smaller pieces to prepare for the next care process, helping the orchid recover and grow better. So, I've completed the preparation steps. Next, I soaked this part for about 15 minutes, allowing the nutrients to penetrate evenly and take effect most effectively. Next, I took out a clean container and put all the prepared ingredients inside. Next, I add about 500 milliliters of clean filtered water. The water must be very pure so as not to harm the orchid. Then, I put this mixture into a blender and blend gently and evenly to fully release the nutrient. So, I've blended the aloe vera and ginger together. Next, I'll filter out the sediment, keeping only the pure liquid. I proceeded to filter out all the sediment. This is the most valuable essence, with all the nutrients fully dissolved. When used for orchids, the plants absorb it very quickly, without clogging the roots, helping the recovery and growth process to occur more safely and effectively. Next, I took the cutting out. By this time, the orchid stem had been soaked in nutrient solution, and the natural nutrients had gradually permeated into the plant. Then, I prepared a soft cotton pad, soaked it evenly with nutrient solution, and gently wiped all the leaves and stem of the cutting. This step is very important, as it helps remove any remaining dirt and mold, and cleans the surface so the plant can absorb nutrients more easily. Next, I placed the cutting back into the cup and poured in more nutrient solution. The cakey cutting of the orchid branch was now completely soaked. I left it for about 30 minutes, enough time for the plant to fully absorb the nutrients, preparing it for the rooting and healthy sprouting stage later on. Next, I took a small cup and poured in the filtered aloe vera and ginger solution. This is a very good natural solution, both antifungal and antibacterial, and helps the plant recover faster. Then, I used a soft cotton ball to soak up the solution in the cup, gently wringing it out until it was just damp. Then I began carefully tending to each orchid leaf. I wiped the top surface of the leaves to clean off accumulated dust and dirt, while cleaning the underside more thoroughly, as this is where mold and pathogens often reside. After wiping each leaf, I noticed the orchid was much cleaner. The leaves were shinier, and the stem looked healthier and more vibrant. Next, I took out a spray bottle and held the orchid in my hand for more thorough care. I lightly sprayed the upper surface of the leaves to wash away accumulated dirt, allowing the leaves to breathe and photosynthesize more easily. Then, I gently turned the underside of the leaves and sprayed evenly. This is where mold and pathogens often accumulate, so when spraying, I let the solution wash away naturally, cleaning the plant safely without causing shock. After mixing the solution, I water and fertilize the orchids directly with the nutrient solution, allowing them to test the water and begin absorbing it. I maintain this care routine regularly every 2 weeks, and you will see very clearly the orchids grow steadily. Their leaves are thicker, greener, cleaner, and healthier because they have absorbed all the necessary nutrients. I soaked the pot for 20 minutes. After spraying for about 20 minutes, I use a soft cotton pad to gently wipe away any remaining water on the leaves. This step is very important, especially on the leaf tips and axils, because if water remains for too long, it can easily lead to mold and insect infestation. Wiping it clean helps keep the plant dry and safe. This is how I care for my orchids. Every 2 weeks, fertilize and spray with nutrients. On regular days, every 3 days, I only mist with clean filtered water to maintain humidity, keeping the plant cool and the leaves clean. After about 20 minutes, I remove the orchid and, during this period, placed it outdoors in a shady, well-ventilated area with gentle light. Next, I've soaked this keiki cutting for 30 minutes, at which point the stimulating nutrients had deeply penetrated the stem. I took the plant out, and you can see that the stem is noticeably fuller and healthier. Thus, the keiki cutting has been thoroughly prepared and is ready for the next stage of development. Next, I took out a clean container. Then, I prepared absorbent cotton balls and put them all into the container. Next, I slowly poured the prepared nutrient solution into the cotton balls, allowing the nutrients to soak in evenly. Once the cotton balls are fully saturated, the nutrients will accumulate inside, simultaneously disinfecting, preventing mold, and gently nourishing the orchid. I will soak it for 15 minutes. Next, I took a plastic cup filled with water and punched several drainage holes around it. The purpose of this step is to allow water to drain out, preventing stagnation, while still allowing oxygen to circulate inside, keeping the orchid cutting dry and safe. Then, I scooped the nutrient-soaked cotton into the cup and gently placed the keiki cutting in the center. Since the cutting was dry and well ventilated, I worked very slowly to avoid bruising or scratching the stem. Next, I squeezed out the excess water and placed the cotton and cutting back into the cup. This way, I incubated the keiki cutting in a clean, airy, and sufficiently humid environment. Next, I placed a plastic lid with ventilation and drainage holes on top. Finally, I placed it in a shady, well-ventilated area in the garden with gentle sunlight to provide the best growing conditions for the plant. During the care process, I'd mist the plants once a week with clean filtered water, just enough to provide the necessary moisture without causing waterlogging or fungal diseases. I always observe the plant's reactions, as each stage of growth requires different amounts of moisture. After misting, I place the plants in the garden in a shady, well-ventilated area with gentle light. After 3 weeks, I checked again and our orchid was growing noticeably. The stem cuttings on the flower stalks were starting to develop healthily, and it was clear the plant had regained its vitality. In just 3 weeks, I saw a new stem cutting sprouting on the flower stalk, neat, plump, and beautiful. With a short period of time and proper care, the orchid would not only revive but also produce new, vibrant shoots, promising beautiful flowers in the future. After that, I continued to care for it regularly, lightly spraying nutrients onto the roots and flower stalks to maintain the necessary moisture. I sprayed just enough, not too much. Once finished, I placed the plant back in its original location, a shady, well-ventilated spot with gentle light. And every 5 days, I misted it to maintain moisture. With such persistence, the orchid will continue to grow steadily. The cuttings will grow quickly and healthily, and be ready for beautiful blooms in the future. After another month, our orchid was thriving, its stem noticeably thicker, its leaves thick, sturdy, and glossy green. It was clear the plant had fully recovered and was growing beautifully. At this point, the roots had grown long, numerous, and strong. I gently lifted the plant to check, and after exactly 1 month, the orchid had taken on a complete form, a strong stem, beautiful leaves, and well-developed, long, and firmly anchored roots. An orchid reaching this state is ready to enter its natural growth phase. Therefore, I proceeded to plant it outdoors, allowing it to gradually adapt to a more stable, natural environment with sunlight, wind, and humidity. From this point onward, if we continue to care for it properly, the orchid will grow very steadily. Its roots will firmly anchor, the plant will be healthy for a long time, and it will be well prepared for beautiful flowering seasons to come. Next, I began transplanting the orchid into a new pot. I chose a pot with plenty of drainage holes, because orchids need constant respiration for long-term health. The growing medium I used was shredded pine bark, which had been cleaned. This type of medium retains just enough moisture but is still very airy, creating ideal conditions for the roots to continue developing naturally. Then, I used a metal rod or any other fixing rod to keep the plant from wobbling during the initial planting phase. Next, I placed the orchid in the pot, adjusting it so the stem was upright and the roots were neatly contained within the growing medium. Once the plant was in the correct position, I secured it with butterfly clips, gently but firmly. Next, I added a layer of moss to lightly cover the top of the roots. This moss helps maintain stable moisture, creating favorable conditions for new roots to grow quickly and healthily in the early stages. Before planting, I also want to make it clear to you, all the moss and pine bark have been pre-treated. I have soaked and treated them thoroughly to eliminate mold, so that when the plant is placed in the pot, the orchid will live in a clean, safe, and as natural environment as possible. At this point, I have completed planting an orchid. With orchids that have such beautiful flowers, you have to know how to propagate and care for them properly for them to thrive for a long time. From this stage onwards, I mist the leaves and growing medium with clean filtered water every 3 days to keep the plant moist. As for nutrients and fertilizer, I maintain a routine of once every 2 weeks, misting or lightly watering so the plant absorbs them gradually without shock. Throughout this period, I always place the plant in a shady, well-ventilated location with soft light and absolutely avoid direct sunlight on the orchid. What do you think of this orchid care method? Don't hesitate to leave a comment and share your thoughts. I really want to hear your feedback and experiences. Every share from you is a valuable source of motivation that helps us learn and love plants more each day.